Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is Cee, certified brewhead.
And I'm Tiffany, liquid enthusiast.
And welcome to episode 26 of Brewing Out the Podcast Link Up series. We're back in the building. Hello, Tiffany.
Yes, we are. It's been a while.
It has. Well, since last week. Since this is the...
Oh, of course
I'm not going to go into the numbers because we're all complicating things.
But it's been a while. It felt between series because we had to delay a little bit because of Miami.
Correct.
There you go.
Which we explained earlier.
Yes.
So we're back again. Link Up is... this is a phenomenal series. This is series 5 once again for those who have been following along. 5th series of collabs. Spectacular stuff. Some phenomenal breweries from around Ontario and Quebec as usual. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited to try this beer and to hear all about it. Are you ready?
I am very ready.
All right, y'all. Please welcome Uncle Graeme from Counterpoint Brewing Company. There he is. Are you a real uncle? That's the question.
I'm not even an uncle. No, can't even say that.
Well, maybe just
your uncle.
Just mine. You forever.
Just in the heart.
Uncle. I like uncle. I'm not an uncle either, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
and you're nowhere close.
No, my brother is not
notion.
moving on,
While you're mixing
that
this.
at all. He's not doing anything. Graeme, good to see you again, brother. It's been a while since we did the last one. I guess it was end of last year for the full pod. Tons of fun. Definitely would encourage people to go check that out if you want the full Counterpoint story. So, first of all, brother, thank you for being involved in Link Up. This is very, very cool. I love your passion for all things just community and social justice and change. And, you know, you guys have really done a lot of stuff, which we're going to get into this episode. So I knew this was going to be a good one. So, first things first, mate, we're going to get into this beer.
Oof, let's do it.
Here she is. Oh, actually, every time I hold it up. Oh, it worked.
Nice.
There we go. Look at that. Yes. Alrighty. Tell us about the beer, my friend.
Hey, the beer. The beer is a fun one for us. Like my first milkshake IPA.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've avoided lactose for the better part of 4 years.
Why was that?
So, you know what? I've just never been a fan of it, to be honest.
That's fair.
I found that it was honestly in it, probably due to perhaps a few, maybe poor examples of lactose. But lately, I've discovered a few decent ones thanks to my taproom manager is a huge lactose fan, and so she'll bring me, the odd beer to try, and I've tried a few that were decent, and so I may be shifting over towards Team Lactose.
Man, finally.
Yeah,
hey, look, it's okay. The one thing I'm maybe a few years ago, I probably would have busted your ass a little bit on that. These days, I'm a little more casual. I understand lactose was a bit of a, the passion for lactose, but it's still, the passion's there. I'm just not going to, get aggressive about it anymore.
Yeah.
That's okay. But I was very, very excited. I gotta say, I think this it's definitely the first milkshake IPA of the series. Oh shoot, I got your glass. And I without going through everything, I don't know if Tiff could remember, but I think it might be the first lactose beer, period.
Oh really?
On Link Up.
I feel like one person put lactose.
Maybe. Either way, it's very uncommon and therefore exciting for us, which is fantastic. So you did a milkshake IPA. Tell us about the adjuncts, because this is where it gets super interesting.
Yeah, definitely a fun one. I mean, naranjilla is something that just came to mind as a unique ingredient that we could use. So we have a bit of inspiration was the fact that we have this American Latina grocery store across the street from our brewery, which is where we head over for quick pupusas and tacos, empanadas, and I mean it's the real deal. It's and it's delicious. And then so just perusing through their fridge, and they've got these little jugs of puree, and one of them was naranjilla, and I was like, oh, what if we can get that? So luckily, our supplier had some naranjilla puree. So as you were aware, it's even on our scale, much easier to use something that's prepared for the purpose. And and then we actually had some coconut from a recent stout, and so I just topped it up with some coconut for some extra flavor.
Hell yeah!
Nice. Was it naranjilla what you had for breakfast?
Oh, that was a play because of the beer.
I thought it was like I had some naranjilla. I'm like, oh, you're doing the same fruit for breakfast. So gullible.
It's just a daily
gullible.
fruit.
I have no idea, so I'll plead ignorance here. I have no idea what a naranjilla is.
Yeah, neither do I. I have no clue. I guess imagine it's just like a specific orange, like citrus family.
What's it like?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I've only ever had it in puree form. Well, one was from the grocery store, and then obviously just had a taste of what I dumped in, and yeah, it's a citrusy, well-rounded though. Not overly tart or anything like that, but it definitely comes through in this beer. With we had a couple people asking if it was a little sour, but it definitely makes its way through there. That's for sure. And then coconut, I find the coconut just kind of lends. It's almost like vanilla in a way, where it lends, a bit of also a little sweetness and rounds out that lactose to add that more desserty kind of taste.
Love
nice.
it.
Okay,
wow.
Cool.
Guys,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Get it in you. Hell yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever having like a citrusy, like orange sort of a beer with coconut, and wow, that works.
Yeah, because you can get the coconut. Now it's like up front, I see why you said it. Someone was asking if it was a sour.
Yeah.
Because you get that, but then you get this coconut right at the back.
I haven't drank as many milkshake IPAs as I used to, probably because there's just not as many around as there used to be.
Yeah.
But exactly. I always kind of remember them having this kind of like, it could obviously just be from the fruit, just like a nice little tang to them. So it works super well. My God, the coconut. I mean, you're right. The coconut does work like vanilla. There's real background things that just kind of give it a little kick in the end.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And great choices there, dude. And tell us about the can here. Obviously, we got something very super cool.
Definitely some fun artwork there with birthday party, pretty much.
Yes, that was so cute, bro. I lost my shit. You can only imagine.
Yeah, the art is
see
awesome.
if it's coming back up again, so I can. While you're talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just a lot of fun with. It just so happened. I guess the day we picked for our release for Link Up happened to be your birthday week. You said so. I was like, we got to run with this. That's what also inspired the milkshake. With the lactose beer. So.
I kind of assumed as much.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to have some fun with it, and why not throw this famous mug on one of our cans?
It's just like really nice. It's like a very cool design. Like I love the illustration.
Yes,
I think it's really really cool.
It's super cute, and it's it's
the
just
cartoony
fun.
like vibe. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have a lot of fun with it. Our our taproom manager Lauren, she plays around with design and does a lot of fun illustrations for us now, and so she's been a big hit for the labels for sure.
Oh, Lauren's
very
killing
cool,
it.
man.
Yeah, Lauren's doing all right. I
imagine this already cleaned out. Like this probably would have. I know we're recording all the episodes late, as everyone knows, but I imagine it's.
Yeah, especially I think we probably were only able to get about 300 or 350 cans out of it.
Okay.
And I actually had to pull the keg out of the cold room off tap to can a handful more, and then to get them to you and bring some.
Oh
home.
wow!
Went back on tap. So yeah.
Well, thank you.
On our last keg.
Oh yeah. So
wow.
Make sure. I guess this will come out pretty soon. So hopefully by the time people hear this, they got in there and got it in them. Very cool, bro. I remember when we did the pod, most of the stuff was in bottles. You moved, and I'd seen since then. I know that you had some cans, but it seems like are you sort of moving more towards the cans these days?
Yeah, I pretty much made 100% switch to cans. And I guess maybe we had discussed it. I can't quite remember.
But, I can't remember either.
It was a while ago.
More the alcohol, but yes, that too.
Well, that too. Yeah. So, it's been on our mind for a while. I had some cans done. I guess contracted, not brewed, but just packaged outside of the brewery for a while. But end up just kind of taking the plunge and grabbing a pallet of cans and just going for it. So and something that I definitely should have done way before I actually did do it. So glad I made the switch. It's been simple, pretty cost effective, and then also just the fact that it's in cans, grab and go, 4-packs or singles or whatever. But people are enjoying it, and here's the season for pools and cottages, and hopefully we get more beer out there this way. So I know it held us back before.
I totally get it. It's a sort of I guess it's sort of where people. The bottles actually aren't necessarily inconvenient. I guess it's more everyone's used to cans.
Yeah.
Since whenever it sort of took
It
over.
is more convenient for the summer for sure. Popping open cans, lightweight to carry back and recycle.
No
all
risk
that
of
type
breakage
of jazz.
as much.
No real
Or
breaking.
less
Yeah.
risk. Yeah. So I get it. Definitely more convenient, like you said as well. Probably fit more in the fridge. Probably move those.
Yeah,
shelves,
easy to throw in a
racks
bag
up.
or back in the
Exactly.
car or whatever, right? Like so.
Exactly.
I do love the small format. I don't know. I feel like shorties are just killer. They're just more. I don't know. I kind of prefer them overall. Like I feel like most craft beer drinkers are gonna want like volume to try different things. So they could either feel like they're just crushing back a bunch of them if you want the same beer, but if you want to change it up, you could probably try in a realistic drinking session more beers than you would if you had just a bunch of Tollies. So very cool, man.
Yeah, I think that the size too. I mean, kind of thinking of a few things. Definitely the variety option. It allows us to also to bring down our price point a little bit for something like this, and make it a little more accessible to try them. And then of course, just I think serving size was another thing too. So just to think, people don't necessarily have to commit to 500 mils of the same kind of thing. So bring it down to a handful instead. Yeah.
No, I love it, dude. Really, really great choice. Very happy to see that. So, thank you again. Beer, spectacular. Very happy. Of course, we knew it would be killer. So, first things first, you and I discussed this after we had the pod with Nate. We had a nice little chat afterwards over the remaining beers from the pod, and I explained everything to you, and I knew beforehand that you were already passionate about this kind of cause, but just to sort of reiterate what we were speaking to, I'd love to just let the folks know, what about Link Up, and not necessarily Link Up itself, but the mission spoke to you to want to be able to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely just a natural fit, I think, for us to take on, and I appreciate the invitation to be involved in this. And it's quite an honorable mission that you both are taking on as well. So I love it. It spoke to me just based on the fact that a variety of factors, including those that are definitely underrepresented in the beer world, allowing us to be more inclusive that way, but also to promote. I love that the fact that you're the range of involvement for those getting into beer, whether it's like you say agriculture, if you're even thinking of exactly like growing something, starting whatever your first hop farm or specializing in beer tasting and pairing through Cicerone programs and that kind of thing. So the education side of things is phenomenal. So really enjoyed the all-encompassing aspect of that. And of course that it was, quite easy for us to be involved and brew a beer that we thought would be a fun one to be a part of this program.
It. You definitely delivered that fun right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. So then to sort of correlate, the Link Up beer with the other things that you've done. You guys have been doing stuff in this realm. When I say this, meaning anything to do with just helping the community. I imagine since the beginning. I know since I've been following you, I've seen a lot of different things you've done, but I imagine that was this always a part of the kind of ethos of the company?
Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't put it better. That ethos is exactly what we're going for, what we stand for as well. It kind of represents what Counterpoint is. Definitely want to be a community hub in that way. And also just, take advantage of the fact that we have a community of customers that are really on board with what we stand for and what we do. And so, involving them in this and giving them the opportunity to help by buying a beer, by tasting beer, and making it really simple for them, and then being able to educate them on different aspects of the community that perhaps could use a little more attention, a little more love from everybody.
Word.
Love that.
I love that. So then your actual staff, then coming back to that, your staff and your consumer base, like what's the natural, and when I say natural, I mean you're in Kitchener, Ontario, so what is the general demographics, I guess, of the, I do have a diverse staff and customer base, naturally, sort of speaking.
Well, we have a diverse customer base, I would say. And I would still say that for the most part, it's a large base of the customers are white. And so I think that these things kind of play a role in that as well, and then hopefully open the door to other folks to come and enjoy our space and drink. We do, we reach out and we host different organizations. We also like to rent out our space at no charge to community groups who would like to take advantage and need a space to meet or to congregate. Awesome. and to get together and do what they need to do for official business, or also just like if they want to host a party. So we've done a few things like that as well. So
yeah, that's so clever. I really like that in terms of awareness. So just driving awareness of your brewery is just like offering the space up. It's like when you don't need it, if somebody needs event space, and then they're like, oh, hey, what's this about? Like any of their guests coming through. I feel like that's a really good, natural, like organic way to kind of increase your consumer base among diverse audiences. So that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't even look at it, to be honest, in a way that I suppose it could be a side effect, a positive side effect to increase our customer base that way. But yeah, even just to expose everyone to the fact that beer is for everyone, and we're not just making necessarily what would be seen as the old white grandpa beer. It's there's all sorts of flavors and styles of beer that we can do, and a couple of our latest collaborations. Say with like John Orpheus and we're doing one with Clarissa Diacono, a couple of local musicians that really highlight kind of their childhood flavors. So mango and tamarind was one, and as well as we're doing one with calamansi, which is like the Filipino lime. So
nice.
Just working in ingredients like that to introduce others to the beer.
I love that.
Yeah.
Have you noticed then from doing those events in the tap room where you've brought communities in, have you noticed like either a direct correlation that maybe some of them you see them back in there, or were they asking questions and they became curious just from being exposed to it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are surprised that that a beer with these certain flavors can exist.
Right.
Beers that traditionally with and whether they're ingredients that maybe have been cooked with, or are just seen as like I don't know, a snack or a dessert or something like that, right? And we can turn it into something liquid and delicious.
That's great. Yeah, I guess it would trip people out if they never really considered that.
That's also the benefit of like being open to just different diverse interests. Even like you all going to, you mentioned like the Latino restaurant across the street.
Yes, I was
which is like seems like a mix, because it's like you mentioned pupusas, which is like El Salvadorian, but they have like tacos and all this thing. So it's like you've been able to incorporate that into our beer too, which is great. Into this beer we've done together, which is awesome.
Which is perfect fit for link up.
But that's kind of one of the things that we like to drive home, is like when you have that openness to different cultures that can positively influence beer, and then also expose us to different fruits and different cultures on the consumer side as well. So it's a really cool benefit.
Yeah, it's great. It really brings up different discussions about what is naranjilla, what is calamansi, and why are we using it, and all that sort of stuff, right? I mean, there could be for some random reason, but a lot of the times, obviously, there's something behind it that introduces us to new things as well on this end.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you could collab with them some way too. Sorry, I'm just
like a food and drink
thing, because I'd be curious to like I really love that type of food. That's why I'm just like, I was like, oh, I love these pairings or something. But yeah, love that. I think that's really, really
You guys have to come down for brew day sometime. It is, we have made it our official Counterpoint lunch, our collaboration lunch. So
nice.
I love that.
Love that. That's really cool.
We're gonna be out here this summer. I'm excited. We're gonna go to all the places we've been meaning to. We're all settled now, and like the house is good. So now we're gonna be out here. So I'm keen. We'll definitely keep you posted for sure.
Yeah, beauty.
Hell yeah. So the other things that you've done, like I was saying to you off air, like what I want to sort of really get to in all of these podcasts. I don't know if we did it as much in the earlier ones, but I like the idea of sharing the wins and even some maybe of the challenges that you found with doing any things like this, whether it's collaborations where like, hey, we actually did one with this company or this person that worked really well. I mean, you're already thinking outside the box, doing it with a couple of local musicians from different backgrounds. I mean, that's super clever. Obviously working with the folks across the street there. Is there any other things like that you think is worth chatting about, that you got a good story about, that whether it's a win or a challenge that within that's just sort of helped overall, like you've been able to take something from it and other brewers could sort of learn from that too?
Yeah, for sure. I think any collaboration, first of all, and it can be a challenge. I mean, it's a big I guess challenge in keeping communication, being open to everyone's I think ideas, and really taking in as much as possible when you kind of first have this initial conversation about, hey, do you want to do a collaboration? We've only done a few collaborations with breweries. I mean, we'll just put that out there. It's one of those things where I think we entered the brewing world 4 years ago. There, a ton of obviously, brewery collaborations. And so, we looked at that. We've done a few, but very local again. And really, like, as our focus is definitely the community, there's so many other opportunities to collaborate with, local bakers, restaurateurs, beer experts, and artists, just those that don't even have a clue what goes into making a beer. So it's really, really fun because we get to, they open the door into their world and let us into, what inspires them and vice versa. So that's, it's an excellent way to, just get to know, who you're living with in this small radius. But again, I think just kind of like translating, both what they would like to see and taste and the challenge of using new ingredients perhaps, and turning it into something that, this physical, this liquid in a tin or a bottle, can be challenging sometimes, but extremely rewarding. Always rewarding. There's no way around it. We've had some fun ones. I mean, I think, for example, we did this beer called Less Like a Monday with Ren Navarro, Beer Diversity, a couple years ago. And so we did that one leading into sort of as like our Pride themed beer. Nice. So, just a small donation to a gal on Ren's behalf, but really focusing on local. It was all local ingredients. And kind of definitely during a time when people were rethinking their consumption habits, and so it was just a nice light pale ale, and in a can and easy to drink, uber local, and of course for a good cause. I think another one we did was with the Indigenous Brew Crew. So those guys celebrating sisters, which was that one I would say is for them as the organizers was a bit of a challenge, as they came across a bit of pushback due to obviously a complicated relationship between let's say alcohol and Indigenous folks and history involved in that. Yeah. So navigating I think sensitivities and certain aspects of alcohol in general when it comes to certain communities, that you have to be aware of that, and for sure. Ultimately it was I would say it was a success, but it was a one-time deal. They decided to support Indigenous groups in different ways, which we do as well in our community. There's a couple that we work with or that we help out with as well.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Those are some of the conversations we had when we were first, setting up Link Up all together. Just really like, how can we serve every community, and then how can we also be respectful of wanting those from Indigenous backgrounds to be a part of the community, while also respecting, the history behind, alcohol consumption and their community. So then we did have to seek out and start speaking to like respected figures to kind of understand how to navigate that. So definitely understand what they would have, a part of what they would have gone through in that.
Yeah.
But representation is important. So it's like you just have to do it, find a way to do it the right way. But we didn't want to exclude, which was the big part. It's like you can't say like, oh, we're going to exclude someone because it's too hard to figure out. It's like you just have to tread lightly and make sure that you enter. So it's good that you also participated in that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something that, exactly like I mentioned. I mean, challenging but very rewarding.
Yeah.
And just navigating through certain things. I mean, I think that something that helps is we're not producing beer. We're not throwing commercials out there that are just we're not a party beer, that kind of thing. We're every beer that we make is something that it's a mature sort of well established drink. It's not thoughtless by any means, or just out there to get drunk, that kind of thing, which I think helps a little bit. But
for sure, your brand doesn't have that feel, which helps for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna ask then, how do you decide who you're going to work with? Like, do they come to you? Do you come to them? Does it happen organically? And I guess I'm asking so that if other breweries are watching in there or listening and they're sort of like curious about getting involved with some different groups in the communities who probably aren't existing patrons, or someone from that culture aren't already working there. One of the biggest challenges, I think, is for people to know, where do I start? Clearly, you've been able to sort of tap into a lot of different backgrounds and causes throughout, whether it's LGBT or diversity and beyond. How do you guys do that? Like, is it just you? Is it a team? Like, just be curious to sort of paint that picture a bit.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of it just comes from our encounters as as a small business in this community, and whether it's, I would say, generally through some type of patronage from our customers that we get to know and are working on some great projects or great community involvement. And I would say that's the majority of it, or even just sort of personal interest on my part or my staff's part. So we're I'm very open. One full-time staff who I see most days of the week, and then part-timers who come in but they're all. I mean, the great thing is that my staff were all once customers, or still are sometimes. So they know what drives us, and having them involved in ideas and relationship building is really important to us as well. So yeah, most of the time, like I mentioned, just a natural, organic build up to it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's very fortunate then, I guess, that you've got a bit more of a diverse
network.
I'm obviously, the interest from yourself and the staff is super dope as well, that you're open to someone brings something up to you, you're able to action that if it all makes sense. But that's pretty dope that you're able to. But I guess you kind of also suggested that you've happened to be a supermarket across the street that you just like, so that's like an easy sort of connect the dots right there. For others. Okay,
this is why you shop local and you don't go to Tim Hortons for lunch. Or where I was like, do people go there for lunch? But you know what I mean.
I'm sure they do.
That's the benefit of going local sometimes, cool opportunities like this happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, these unique, so many unique businesses out there. I mean, I'm aware, I have a friend who owns some Tim Hortons, and I'm very aware that, yes, it's a local business owner, but at the same time, I mean, it doesn't offer that uniqueness and the opportunity, again, of and the freedom really to run things the way you really do want to.
I never thought of it that way, to be honest. They're franchises, so therefore there is a local family
that is true
behind it. But a portion of that money does go back to that, multinational conglomerate.
And you definitely don't get to be creative because you have all the brand standards,
you're totally
guidelines.
stuck.
We did marketing for a chain, like a franchise chain. And remember, it was just like you don't get to do anything. They got to be a little cute with specials, but like,
sure.
And Tim Hortons is too big of a brand. This brand was like Ontario, so I feel like they were more liberal.
But everything was dictated and spewed out to you, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't have that sort of level of flexibility. So that's very cool that you're focusing on that. So that's one thing that people can do. I was actually curious as well because it seems like you mentioned just now when we were talking about that you've got a decent variety of cultural backgrounds, people coming into the brewery as customers, enough so that you're able to kind of connect with those communities or individuals. For the people that I'm sort of just curious on this one, for the people that are applying for any jobs that you have, what's that looked like? Has that been diverse, or is that something that you've maybe needed to proactively work on?
Yeah, I mean, the openings really, I mean, I think I posted once, for a job opening, and it was, again, kind of taken up, a number of people, a handful of people apply, and I would say half of them were customers. And so, I already, knew them from interacting with them in the front of house. Definitely something I need to work on is really, I think, opening the doors or seeking out actively some more diversity within our staff. So we're an all white team. We've got a few females on the team and a few males, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Just
gotcha.
Yeah. I guess that's an argument for diversifying the consumer base, so that way if it's like you're hiring often from the consumer,
from your customers,
then it'll benefit
immediately.
You too.
They're going to be. That's a good point.
Yeah,
but it sounds like you're already doing that. You've got a bit of it naturally, and that's kind of growing because you're a welcome space for everybody, and you kind of made that very clear. If people go to your social pages, they'll know that hey, this is for everybody. Like you made that pretty abundantly clear with everything that you're doing, which is something that we have harped on for years as social media, marketers. Like it's very, very important that the brands are doing that, particularly breweries. So I always felt like you always did that really well. And it's been very abundant.
Yeah, definitely one aspect. We still, improve on that as well. We've got, I feel like, diversity in sort of in all sorts of aspects, but except for that one in particular. But yeah, pulling from our customer base, or just, again, sort of organically happens, right? I mean, people are asking, if you ever need a hand, or if I do mention it to somebody, then that's it. So, but
yeah, fair.
No, I get it, man. It's the number one challenge. I think it's the tougher one than diversifying the consumer base, because you have no real direct control over who applies for the jobs. So it's more like if you've already noticed, and I imagine this is cool because I don't know if this has been brought up before, to be honest, on any of these the series, that the customers are applying. I don't know if I can't really remember if anyone said that, but if that's the case, then that's a huge argument for proactively working on diversifying your consumer base, which is so much easier, I think, than diversifying the talent base for employees, for building a team. Just because people have to be exposed to beer to even want to apply first. So, all right, first things first, expose people to beer. And you're doing that with the, particularly the community group offering the free rental, the tap room for parties. It was always, I think we might have said this on here before, but that was something that we told a brewery years ago who asked us, like, yo, how do we, this is long, like probably 5 years ago, like they asked us, how can they get more people of different backgrounds in? And one thing we always suggested was to work with that community group. Like Tiff's mom is a part of a Jamaican association. So approach the associations. I mean, you got to do it. Unfortunately, it's a brick by brick thing. There's no governing body of cultural associations or whatever that you can be like, hey, do an email blast. But you got to go to each different one and just be like, hey, yo, like, we're here. We're a space. We'd love to ever host you. Maybe we could do it, pitch them an idea, like a pairing event, like Tiff mentioned before. Like, hey, we can pair our different types of beers with your cultural
it all
food.
Comes down to exposure. Exposure is the main thing. So it comes, and again, then it makes it the same thing as like in general, I assume all breweries do want to expand their consumer base in general. So it's almost like the same problem in a way. It's just like it's like niching down even further. But I guess the benefit of like a targeted awareness, like I don't want to say like campaign is so dramatic, but like taking in these initiatives where you like target a specific demographic, is that the benefit is you could convert a few folks to be a permanent consumer. So then you kind of solving two problems, because you get a diverse consumer base and you also get the more customers in general. So it's just like more money in your pocket and a more diverse consumer base that potentially leads to a more diverse workforce. So I guess it's just, I know, a long list of other things to do. That's why Link Up also exists, is that's what we're trying to do. So even though our main target is the workforce, we are also focusing on the fact that if we get more people just interested in drinking beer too, that's also a benefit as well. It's just it's all an exposure game,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's that barrier. I mean, even just that sort of whether it's seeing past what beer is and what beer can be, and also just that these great breweries are there for a purpose other than just slinging pints. And like you say, it's not that hard. I think. I mean, it's some work, which I think goes to show as well. Those that are taking one step to reach out to a local group to say, hey, don't know if you guys love beer or anything like that, but we have a space, you can use it. And, let's make this happen. And like you say, I mean, sure, there's twofold. I mean, there's definitely from a business argument, I suppose that there's that benefit that you meet a few more people and they'll maybe have a beer and they'll tell their friends, and you might even just become a local hangout for them, which is great. So,
yeah. It's sort of, you really can't lose with any of this, as long as you're sort of trying. I think that's the main thing I guess we'd be encouraging people to do, is sort of like, check out these episodes with all the brewers who participate and link up, because everybody has pretty interesting stories and have done different things their own way, and then just swing, give it a crack. Like, you never know. Like, maybe some things don't work as well. Like, maybe some communities aren't interested. Maybe you hit up a group and they'll be like, yeah, man, we don't drink, so maybe check that first. But there's a lot of potential in doing that. I think it's super cool. So is there any final thoughts on anything to do with this that maybe like, is there a large takeaway from that, maybe whether it's anything to do with diversifying your both your workforce and the what kind of think of it, customers? God damn it. That naranjilla got me.
I think, I mean, the takeaway is for me is that it is beneficial really for everyone. I mean, everyone involved to you build relationships regardless. Like you say, even if it's let's say a swing and a miss for an example, you meet somebody, you talk to them about what you do for the community, what you'd like to do for them, or what you have to offer. I mean, even you don't have to force anything on them, but just anybody, but just offer something and let them know what you're doing. So I think that's the biggest takeaway is just you're able to build relationships and meet new people that you probably didn't know of before or weren't aware of. Otherwise, I think it's also just very rewarding to work with different groups and those that are maybe not fortunate enough to just have the ability to walk in and buy, let's say, not a cheap glass of beer, but give them the opportunity to expose them to the world of beer and work alongside and make beer with new people.
Love it. Yeah. That was perfect. That's exactly what I want to hear. Love it. This has been great. Anything else from you?
No,
Tiff?
I believe we're all good.
Amazing.
Great
bro. Yeah, exactly. This was really good. This was really fun, man. Thank you again for being a part of Link Up. It means a lot to us. The beer was that's a dope, great, buddy.
Beer's fantastic.
I think he could tell he hears the tone of voice change, and then he starts getting up.
Well, that's a wrap. Yeah.
He goes, okay, now I can jump on him. No, but thank you again. It's been very, very cool, and I just I love everything that you've been doing for in this sort of world with regard to just all the things we spoke about. Just really just caring about it. Really, to be honest, that's what I really appreciate about it, and I could tell when we had the last pod that that's exactly how you were getting down, and stoked that it all worked out. So thank you again for taking the time and for getting it done and for hanging out with us this evening, my man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it as well, and yeah, it's been great having these couple big conversations with you, and good to dig in a little bit. So
hell yeah, man.
We should
coming.
do it again. Yeah, take care, guys.
Thank
Tiffany,
you so much.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, really great to meet you too.
Let's do the thumbnail real quick, just like on the other pod. Do you want to hold up a can?
Yeah.
There we go. Ready? Glorious. Graeme, where can everybody find Counterpoint online, my dude?
Yeah, counterpointbrewing.ca, simple as that, and Counterpoint Brewing Co. on Instagram.
Love it. Amazing. We'll wrap up. We'll just say goodbye off air, but thank you again for taking the time.
Love the beer. It's fantastic.
Beer is
Thank you
lit.
for teaching me about a new fruit.
Team Lactose.
Yeah. Team Lactose.
All day. Graham's going to be converted now. One naranjilla at a time. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, and hit the notification bell so you know when the new drops. Follow us everywhere at BAOS Podcast. Check out the long form audio. We drop the regular podcast every Wednesday. Now we're all back in our groove again. And the link up pods, they'll be either a Monday or they'll be on a Wednesday if we don't have a regular pod. And we'll see you in the next episode, y'all. Peace.
Bye.